So you're challenging me to carry on the conversation.
Not only
here.
do I set everything up, but make sure everything works, and edit everything, and make sure this video is up on the internet, and on social media, and Facebook, and on the website, and provide all the hardware, I have to carry the conversation too.
Oh my God, can you get my little violin out of the glove
I
box?
am, this is awful. You haven't even introduced me yet.
Oh yeah.
You don't even know who I am.
I'm in the car, connecting the cars today with Steve Sansford, and we're trying not
Connect with
get
that
hit
bus,
by
you're
that
not
button.
careful.
Yeah, I don't want to connect with that bus. We just drove right into our lane. Steve Sansford, who I've known for a number of years, and we will talk about how we met. What are you?
I don't know.
He's my I don't know guy.
That's the question we all ask ourselves, isn't it? Who are you?
It is.
Who am I?
Who are you? Yeah. No, but
The guy that makes all these techie bits work for your business.
making the tech stuff go for my
That's
business.
me.
There you go. For Connect One Consulting, this is the tech guy.
I write from time to time.
Right. Yeah.
I make videos from time to time.
Makes videos. So welcome to Connect One Connecting Cars.
Thanks, Gord.
Welcome. Wouldn't want to have anybody else here but you. I say that to everybody though.
You do say
Just
that
so
to
you know
everybody. And that would sound a lot better if I didn't know that you said that to everybody. But I see all these videos, so.
Yeah.
I
No,
still
I
appreciate
really
the
do
sentiment,
mean it. I really do mean it with each and every one that I
I'm sure you
interview.
do.
They wouldn't be in the car if I didn't want to interview them.
You should do one of these where it's just you driving around interviewing yourself.
I could do that.
That would be interesting and
That'd
scary.
be really weird, actually. I usually just sing to myself.
I bet you it gets more views than any other video you put up.
Tell me how we connected. How did we connect? I forget now.
You poked me in the back with a sword
I did, really?
on a giant bicycle.
Oh, yes, the heart and stroke bike.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, Jen's husband. Here. Ooh.
Yeah. And it was all downhill from there.
Did I ask you out or did you ask me out?
I don't
See?
remember, but I remember
See, it's
that
comedy in cars.
we met at Williams.
Oh, did we?
Remember we sat on the patio?
Okay. No, I don't. You left a really lasting impression on me.
Apparently. I should work on that. People shared your post.
Oh, how nice.
See
Thank
the post I
you,
put on the page?
whoever that was.
Remember we met at Williams.
Williams? And that inspired you to name your son.
It did, yeah, William.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, all because of you.
You know, you never know what kind of impact you're going to have on people. I can't even say without laughing.
We put a baby name generator on the website now.
Yeah, really.
Because I really don't remember how it all started.
And what did we talk about?
Probably Legal Shield.
Right.
Because it's kind of what we talk about most of the time.
Yeah.
Until now, but it
In
was
those
probably
days.
Legal Shield.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had that commonality. Yeah, and initially I connected with Jen, so that's how we met.
Most people do.
Yeah.
Surprising considering I'm the more outgoing one in the relationship.
I was just going to say she's the sociable one in the family.
Yep. I don't do people. What can I say?
But you do.
That's why your
do
company has
I was
such a
gonna
great
say
website.
I was going to say you do people.
I do people.
That
Occasionally.
didn't sound right.
Time and finances permitting.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess. Do. But no, you do communicate well. Just in your own little way.
In my own special way.
In your own special way.
Yeah.
That's the way to put it.
The words come out well. How they're perceived by others, that's a different story. And
But when you present something, it comes out really. I don't know where that siren's coming from. I'm going to say T-bonus. I guess we'll know.
it's up there.
Yeah, it just flows, right?
Yep. What's a common misconception? People say that introverts aren't good speakers, or introverts are shy, or introverts don't do good in public speaking situations.
That's right.
But it's entirely not the truth. It's actually quite the opposite.
Yeah. Well, and it tends to be more heartfelt too. And
It did. Introverts process information internally before we speak it.
that's right.
So what comes out tends to be more coherent. Sometimes.
Right.
Not all the time, but
Right.
more coherent. Which is quite often why after I'm done giving a presentation, people will say, hey, it's really cool when you said this. I'm like, wow, I don't remember saying that. Because I don't really think about it until after it's said, and then I don't remember, and I'm already moving on to the next thing. But it's interesting. People say I come out of my shell when I'm up on stage presenting. No, I don't. It's just what I do.
Yeah. And it works well. And that's it's just interesting how that works. And I tried something today. I had notes in front of me in a workshop. Completely threw me off because I'm good at winging it.
Yep.
And going with the crowd or whoever's in the room and going with whatever their needs are. And it completely threw me off. I just completely lost my train of thought because I kept going back to the notes, and that interrupts the process and the flow of thoughts. And
Yep.
yeah, it was frustrating. So I thought, okay, that's not going to work well.
Well, they say fear of public speaking is bigger than the fear of death for most people, but I don't understand the fear of public speaking because the only reason you're afraid to be up there is you're afraid of what people are going to think about what you say, generally.
Yeah.
You may be afraid you're going to make a mistake, but that's okay because you're probably the only one that's going to notice.
That's right.
But people don't want to put themselves on display like that because they're afraid of what people will think that may get some negative criticism. But if you was a little aggressive, Grandma.
Yeah, I don't know what Grandma wants
What
to
she
get
was
home
thinking
with,
there?
I'm not sure what's happening there.
But if you eliminate that from your thought process, what people think about you or how they feel about it, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and there's
Doesn't matter.
techniques as you do things.
Yeah.
As you present or speak, that helps you with that, like not focusing on anybody in the seating. Seating you can't talk.
Did you ever try the one where you picture the audience naked?
Yeah.
Does it work?
No, because I want to laugh.
That's kind of what I thought.
But what I was going to say is, you don't focus on any one person, and you kind of look over the tops of them.
Yep.
Unless you're actually focusing on somebody to engage them in the conversation, right?
Right.
And that takes a bit of practice and time.
See the guy carrying that wheel
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
I saw him riding up Wonderland Road on that thing yesterday. He flies on that.
Oh,
It's a
he
little
rides
single
on it.
wheel that you stand on, some kind of one-wheeled Segway thing. I don't know
I'd
what
like
it
to
is.
talk
But
to him. See, there's a lot of people that'd be awesome to talk with, connect with.
that's the thing. Everybody
Find
has a
out their
story.
Like these people sitting
They're
on the side
sitting
of the road
here
by the
by the
fence.
side of the road, by the bus stop.
We're just assuming that they're waiting for the bus, but maybe they're not.
Maybe they're not.
Maybe they're waiting for a pizza order.
You never know. But everybody has a story. Don't prejudge people.
That's profound, isn't it?
What is it? There's probably a dozen people standing around us in different places. Every one of them different, and I bet they all have a story.
That's right.
And I bet their story's all better than ours. We have room for three.
Well, I don't know about better, but different, I think.
Definitely different.
That'd be fun. We should
I assume
get
everybody's story's better than mine.
get a bunch of people in the car and talk.
Didn't I try that last summer?
Might have.
Connecting in cars?
Yes, yeah.
Or
I
networking
didn't
in
do
cars?
it,
Wait,
but-
we're doing connecting in cars.
Yeah.
Right, they're doing networking in cars.
Yeah. We're doing sort of connecting comedy in cars. Well, I'd like to think of it that way, but
Speaking of, you ever been to Budapest Restaurant?
no.
Shameless plug, it's a sign on the back of the bus. I was in there, I did a pickup there a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of months ago, I guess now. It seems like a really nice place.
Yeah, the food looks good on the back of the bus.
Yep.
One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and we've talked about a lot, you and I attend a lot of events, or have attended a lot of events together in the past. And,
Yes.
it's interesting when you do that, and I've often thought of that. It is more enjoyable especially if you're not comfortable networking or connecting, introducing yourself. Go with somebody. Use the buddy system, and even if one of you is uncomfortable, one isn't.
Right.
I think it always helps break down that wall, if you will.
Well, I had two conversations at that event yesterday. Both because you introduced me to somebody and then walked away. So what am I going to do? I'm going to have a conversation.
Right.
It's not that the conversations are uncomfortable. It's fine. I just don't do well with the small talk.
Right.
Most introverts don't. It's not that we can't, just that we choose not to because it's a waste of time. If you want to introduce me to somebody and let's start talking about philosophy, let's have at it.
Mm-hmm.
Want to talk about politics or religion, let's do it.
Yeah.
Want to talk about the weather, I'd find someplace else to be. But small talk is the first step.
Yes.
which is why a lot of introverts aren't great networkers, because we tend to ignore that first step because we don't like it. But we can do it when we have to.
But that brings up a really good point, and I think regardless of whether you're introvert or extrovert, when you're first starting out talking to people and connecting, that is the art of the conversation, is around small talk. The art of small talk conversation, I should say.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of time and practice and being able to sort of carry on the conversation or keep it going.
Yep.
And do that in an authentic and interesting way. And I know it challenged me for a long time. Sometimes people throw something out that still challenge me. I don't know what to say, but I often say things that people don't know what to do with either. So just ask my daughter. But you do tend to get to a really comfortable place where you will throw things out that sort of challenge people's thinking. And that's what I try to do now when I'm talking to people. Sort of get them away from the introduction, which is about them, onto what it is they really are passionate about.
Now, is that something you'll do in the first meeting when you first meet somebody new at an event? Does it get that far in the first event, or is that something you build on?
It can. It depends. Depends on how comfortable they are responding back, and you get a sense of that pretty quickly.
Right.
How comfortable people are. But I really like to get to know what people are all about, because that really helps form that relationship with them.
Yep.
So yeah, I do agree with you. It's not, the art of small talk is not something that's comfortable for everybody, and it always wasn't for me either. But I think I've got pretty good at it. Because I think it comes from a place of genuinely wanting to know, especially if I don't know someone. And part of that is learning the skill of actively listening too. And that's really hard if you're not interested in what the other person's saying.
That can be a challenge.
Right? And we're not always interested in what someone's got to say, or we don't know how to react. Like, oh gosh, that wasn't a funny thing he said. But
so how do you handle that situation?
For me, it works well with humor. Like, I'll say something and then go, I shouldn't have said that, or I'll make a joke about it or something, and that usually breaks down the barrier of.
Now, what if it's something they say? What if you're not interested in the conversation that they're having with you?
Well, there's ways to ask more questions or interject more information based on what you've already heard to kind of steer the conversation away from, maybe, because sometimes, and it's just normal, and I'm not, how do I say that? Like, it's normal to sort of go on and on about things sometimes. I do that. Ask my wife, ask my kids. And
ask his business partners.
You know, if you think about, I forgot about you.
And on and on. You hear that? He forgot about me. Right here beside him, filming the video with him, building this company for him, and he still forgets about me.
Yeah, there you go.
My
so
kids
would you
still
like
love
to
me.
share something?
No, I'm okay. I'll just bottle it up inside where nobody can get at it.
I was trying to make a point, and I can't remember what it was now.
My bad.
You know,
you were talking about going on and on and on.
And usually we do that with the people we know the most, right? But sometimes when we get out, we get nervous, we start talking, and we don't know when to shut up. So I think that's a really important skill too, but it just takes practice. It takes repetition, consistency, and persistency. And talking to other people, and I hear that all the time. Well, how do I start? Well, say hi, right?
Go for a drive.
Go for a drive. You know, and I've shared this with people before, how do I connect with my kids? Go for a drive. You've got a captive audience. You know, what are they going to do? Jump out of the car at highway speed? But no, the more you do it, and from my experience, the more your kids open up to you.
Yep. Well, cars are great places to have conversations, because what else are you going to do?
That's right.
Now, they may not be great places to film an interview type conversation like we're doing, but let's face it, we're both just way too busy to set this stuff up in a studio, so.
Yeah, that's right. So I think it's
we're going to get these squeezed in when we have time to do them, right?
More of a natural setting for us, I think, in our And I love driving, and I love cars, and I think it all fits well.
Yep.
I think it all fits together. And looking forward to doing